Mr. Don Larson. I'd like to have him come up and say a few words.
I just want to say a couple of things, because first of all, I don't believe there's ever been a better maintenance crew in the entire world than HC1 Dead 6. And on Apollo 15, I'll never forget this, we had to practice an abort. That's right. We had to practice an abort because we never had an aircraft go down. And that's because when the plane landed, you started to work on it, and by the time the paperwork ever got through the system, the plane was right back up. I can't think of a better group of people than those of you that I'm looking at right now. And I thank you for the wonderful experience that I've had in my life. Thank you, Bob.
I'm sure I see you guys wearing the HC1 hat. These hats were compliments of Mr. Mike Hope, who lives here in Las Vegas. I hope you guys enjoy them. Mike, would you like to say anything?
Mike Hope, HVAC, yeah.
Oh, look at the face.
When Bob contacted me about what was going on here, I was just tickled something else that this was going to take place here in Las Vegas. I've been here for 20 years myself. And in the emails that went flashing back and forth, someone had mentioned something about the caps that the squadron used to have. And I believe, Mr. Williamson, you dug something out and had the pictures of it. So I took those pictures to the fellow that does my shirts and logos and everything for my company, and we got these caps made up. I got 30 of them. If there's anybody that didn't get one, let me know your name, size, address, and everything. I'll get one made up for you. But I figured you guys spent your money to come here to Las Vegas to enjoy this reunion, and I didn't have to spend that money, so this is my way to give it back to y'all. So I really want to enjoy it.
Thank you, Mike. There was one gentleman we were going to come up and ask him to say a few things. Adrian wouldn't, but he probably wants to clean the banquet room or water was cleaner, so we figured that's a bad idea.
And wait a minute, he had that gritty stuff he put in it too.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, we used to, we didn't get much downtime. It was flight ops every day, and when you did have a chance to get a little sack time, a little time to relax. I know myself, I used to hide up in the line shaft underneath the angle deck and snuggle up next to the locker and dream about my girlfriends in Ohio and in Alongapo. And, but I'd be drifting to sleep, and this ominous voice would come out of nowhere. Mr. Coster, your presence is required on the flight deck. We are cleaning aircraft with waterless cleaner. The Navy gave you great equipment. I want to see your face shining on it. So, Mr. Whitman, on behalf of all the enlisted men here, and especially myself, your presence is required up here in the flight deck, front and center.
Hey, Bob. You know where he got all those ideas, don't you? Chief Gage.
Chief Gage.
He used to whisper in his ear.
All right, Dad, you got the wallet.
Mr. Whitney, Adrian's going to give us a demonstration of how to clean aircraft. And all your peers will be the judge to see if
It only comes in a gallon can.
No, we know you couldn't handle a gallon can, so we got you a little too. Come on, now, just show a little pride in your work. I want to see your face shine in that aircraft.
But this is not a helicopter.
Huh?
Yeah, not a helicopter.
Come on. You're not getting out of this one. You know who put us up to this? Jack and Pat. They emailed me, they said, please do this to him.
They probably did.
Start at the bottom
They
and
probably
work
did it
up.
less than anybody else in the net.
Start at the bottom and work up.
Oh, you remember, huh?
I do.
Hey, it actually
It actually cleans.
All right, I can still do it.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
I just remember something about this book. You guys seen this book, this little cruise book from, see. If you look at some of the pictures in here, they're pictures of the flight deck. And it's got all kind of airplanes on it. Except you don't ever see any helicopters on the flight deck. Well, the helicopters were all flying on those guys were on the flight deck. Even when we went out the Golden Gate, under the Golden Gate Bridge, the flight deck is covered with airplanes. There are no helicopters. There was a helicopter up there taking the pictures. So we were always working. Oh, it's not that flying takeoff. Yeah.
I don't know if you gentlemen remember Joe Douglas. Joe was on the Apollo 50 recovery, and I think, would you go, what, a couple of months on the cruise before you were discharged, before you got out?
I got out in January.
In January, so about 2 months.
So I joined that detachment.
Okay. Well, Jack's a professional magician.
Joe.
Joe, I mean Joe. Sorry. It's that time of my life now, I'm losing it. But we're going to have Robbie say a couple of words, and then after that, Joe is going to put just a short show on for us.
All right.
Okay. So Rob, why don't you come up?
Oh, and can we make the helicopter disappear?
Well, Bob contacted me about 18 months ago, and he asked, he first said, well, I want to have an anniversary in Las Vegas, and then a couple of days later, he called me back and he said, how about if we have a squadron reunion? I said, well, that sounds really great. So we started talking back and forth on this, and I started talking about it at home, and my wife goes, do I have to listen to this for the next year? I went, yeah, you will. So anyway, we started talking back. Bob did all the work. Honestly, he did all the work. I did a couple of phone calls here and there. He'd run an idea by me, and he'd go, what do you think about this? And I go, hey, that's a great idea. And he kept on and on. They were his ideas. I just said they were great. And he just kept going and going and going. And I contacted a few people, and some of the people weren't able to come. There's been some medical issues come up. There were people that were planning on coming and they weren't able to. Chip Murphy had a surgery, and I heard, and he told me that Jeff Hunt's wife had some surgery. So I think that they had planned on coming. And I've talked to them several times. And also Steve Land, I talked to him a couple of times, and he said a schedule had taken him out of it. And so anyway, this is mostly, I want to thank Bob for doing all this. I did drive down here from Redding, California instead of flying, so I could bring that piece of airplane down. My wife goes, how are you gonna, they won't let you, oh, that's right, we're driving. And she hates this like 11-hour drive. But I said, I've got this airplane, I've got to take it down. Because I promised Bob I'd show up with a water sand cleaner and the airplane. I didn't have any rags, I had to get them here. But I said, oh, as soon as he brought it up, I went, that's a great idea. And I'll bring the airplane. So I went to 2 different airports in Redding. They gave me one little piece. I said, that's not big enough. He's got to have a bigger airplane than that. So I went to the next airport and I asked them. So they came out with this good sized piece. No, it's not a helicopter, but I thought it was a pretty good size. So anyway, I came down with this, and instead of flying down, we drove down. And I think Susan's gonna be just fine with me until I do the 11-hour ride back. We broke it up coming down. Now we have to do it all in one shot going back, because my 3 grandchildren have to be back in school on the week. So, anyway, on to Joe.
Do you need time to set up, Joe, or you?
Not for particular action, it sets up relatively quickly.
Okay. And after Joe gets done, we're gonna hear a little song from a beautiful young lady. I won't tell you who it is, but you'll find out. Okay?